Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru, your sister friend. And y'all know I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess centered lifestyle. How are you all today? Greetings, greetings, greetings to our summer season. Welcome. I think I see there's already comments here. Good morning, Azizi. Good morning, Virgo Bliss. Okay, we got two Virgos on this morning. I see you all. Greetings to the hashtag Replay Sisters. How are you all doing? Happy to be here this morning and to just, take us through a nice mini retreat. Midweek mini retreat is what I call this. Sometimes, I have a plan in place, and the sisters, we take, y'all take the discussion in a whole new direction. So I do have a meditation, a mindfulness meditation that I will do with you all. Not one that's very long, but I do think it's important for us to do this. We are in the waning moon phase at this point. Wait a minute, waning? Yeah, we're in the waning moon phase because, how about this? Let me see who else is here. Hi, Eileen. I was waiting for Eileen to tune in because I'm like, yeah, look, we got a lot of Virgos that apparently I attract Virgos. Okay, I attract Virgos, and I am unapologetic about it. Greetings to Eileen and Latasha Peg. How are you? The Queen Diza. Bonjour. How are you all doing? So glad to be here with you all. Greetings. How are you, Queen? I'm so happy to be here. It's just been a little bit of, y'all know I'll tell y'all what's going on with me. I don't act like my life is perfect. It's been rough. It's just nothing's really wrong. It's just, sometimes when you got stuff going on the inside, man, it's rough. And immediately now that I'm here, I feel so like immediately I feel better seeing you all. Thank you all so much. I wish you a great day. Virgo Bliss. All right. Happy solar return to all the Cancerians in the house. I'm happy for y'all. I'm real happy. I'm going to set this off to the side so that it cover my beautiful glistening skin. So yes, just want to remind you all, I would love to have you all join me this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I am hosting a mini retreat for the moon in Cancer, the new moon in Cancer. And one thing that I've been saying about that is, this is like a double new start, new beginning. It's a new moon, and it is a new season. We're now in the season of Cancer, and I say this, the more I think about it, we've had like a lot happen in the last 2.5 years. I coach women. I just see so much going on, and it's not like I'm even coaching, like you couldn't even put a fraction on it compared to like how many people are in the world. Very small number, but just a few women that I have been coaching this year. It's a lot going on in their lives. I can't believe it's not, and in my life, I can't believe the same isn't true for the majority of us out there. Even if it's good, it still may feel like something new that we have to adjust to. So I love this new moon in Cancer because it helps us to reset ourselves for this year. We're halfway through the calendar year. We're halfway through the it's not the astrological year, but when we think about the seasons, we had that new start in the last solstice was in December of 2021. So, we're making our way through these seasons, these cycles. And I just think, why not reset yourself for the rest of the year? Even though I say resetting yourself every month, every day, sisters, come on, is important. So I hope y'all join me. There's a link Maybe not. Yeah, there is a link in the bio in this um video, I think. I don't know. And it should be $10 off until today, actually. It doesn't matter how much you pay, honestly. The value that you get from it is amazing. So, yeah, we're in Cancerian season, and because of that, I decided to choose a mindfulness practice that is surrounding releasing something. And it is about releasing resentment. I want to also take that time to help us to reset our energy. Okay, reset our energy. Jesus says, I have two cancer kids. How did I do it? Yes. I love it when we see the patterns. Or it's like some little kids say the patterns. Um, so that and we're in the waning cycle. So that's something that I think is important for us. Cancer is about it's about the emotional body. And so I would love to hear from you all. Um, what do you do to take care of your emotions daily? What do you do to take care? I would love now. I said I know that I'm a talking head on a YouTube streaming video. The expectation is I'm gonna talk, but I really do love conversation. Y'all are brilliant. I'm not the only one that can bring the juice, baby. So if you share something, then it will help other sisters. Even if you're like, girl, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what it means to take care of myself emotionally. Like, let's just have a quick discussion about that. Okay. Okay. Jesus says her dad is also a Cancerian. My dad is a Leo, even though he's a Cancer rising. He doesn't know that, but me, my mom, my grandmother, and my older brother, we're all Pisces. And he would say, I'm surrounded by all this water. Ah, aw. I love that we have moms of Cancerians on right now. So yeah, let me know, how do you take care of yourself? So one of the things that we're going to do this morning is we're going to do just a little bit of releasing work. And yeah, we're gonna that's how we're resetting ourselves. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to say that I think is important for everybody is to understand that we have the rest of this year, maybe into the top of next year. I think it may not feel like it's calm waters, but I think that this is calmer than part of 2023 will be, especially March. March of 2023, we're starting off anew. We're starting brand new. And so it's important for us to make sure that we appreciate this time and lay as much of the groundwork as we can for yeah, moving forward. And whatever may come next year. I have to look and see exactly what it all means, but just start listening to people who are talking about Pluto moving into Aquarius next year. It's gonna be it's gonna be a really big deal. And and moving into Saturn is leaving Aquarius and moving into Pisces. Look, I get lost sometimes talking about these things. I gotta get a ton of readings from my astrologer. Even though I did get one and it sounded good, but for 2023, I'm still nervous. Okay. Yes. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go on ahead and let's take a few deep breaths in. If you could, just go on ahead and put yourself in a relaxed position. Deeza is surrounded by all this water. Okay, so Diza has gone back to sketching and digital painting. It's been helping me calm down. I love that, Diza. I actually like using Canva, which is sort of like an art form for me. Um, I'll just go in and make something, beautiful, or what I think is beautiful. Mhm. Yes, water, drinking water, baths. I like that. I really do. I like that a lot because I actually use I need to take a bath. I told myself this yesterday and I didn't do it. Not for getting cleaned up, just to relax, drinking water, crying. I love all of that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. So daily, 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 we want to have these practices. So let's just go on ahead and take a nice deep breath in. Inhale. And a long, slow, deep breath out. Exhale. And take a deep breath in. Inhale. And a long, slow, deep breath out. Exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale. And a long, slow, deep breath out. Exhale. And mindfulness is about being present to what is with compassion, kindness, and non judgment. It's not necessarily about totally quieting the mind, but just being present in the now moment. And just sit here with me, be in this moment with me and the other sisters who are here. Let's envision, actually, really quickly, that we're all sitting together in a circle. And together, we're just being present, just being with ourselves. And I want to just offer to you that at times we avoid being present because when we are present, when we are aware of actually what we're feeling and what we're thinking, it can be disturbing. However, when we are present, it allows us to be able to see whatever is going on, especially when we're not judging it, when we're being compassionate to ourselves, to see it for what it really is and to actually see a path forward about what is it that we need to do. And one thing that this season of Cancer affords us is the ability to tap into our emotional body, focus on it for a while, and begin to release any emotions that are not serving our highest and greatest good. And so I just offer to you this emotion of, or this feeling of resentment. I just want to share a little bit with you all about resentment. You can just stay present. You can just keep your eyes closed and just be at one with this moment. Now, the word resentment comes from the Latin root uh, with its original meaning to feel again. Now, we all deal with resentments, holding on to harm that has been caused in the past. And it's a painful experience, both the pain of the past, the harm of the past, actually, and holding the resentment. Painful. Because when you hold on to resentment, when you hold on to this pain, you will feel it repeatedly. And sometimes these resentments may feel like they offer security from future harm. But with forgiveness, you can free up space in the heart to allow love and care to take root. The practice of forgiveness will help you let go of these painful experiences and offer freedom to the mind and heart. So let's just go on ahead and begin our practice. Again, taking a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just invite gentleness into your body. Invite softness. Just notice any discomfort or tension in the body and try to soften around it. Okay. So as we move forward, what we're going to do is let go of resentment by forgiving faults of others and maybe ourselves too. So bring to mind somebody you feel resentful toward. And I do encourage you, don't choose the strongest resentment in your heart just yet, but bring someone who you do feel resentment towards. Whoever comes up, let's just work with that person. And just notice the harm that was caused and why you feel resentful. And what I want you to do is connect with the intention to cultivate an open and loving heart. If you need to, you can just take some deep breaths in and allow yourself to relax into the moment even more as you are sitting with the feeling of resentfulness and at the same time opening your heart to releasing. And if there's resistance, notice its presence without pushing it away. It takes time to open the heart, so don't force anything. Begin offering phrases of forgiveness, connecting with the words as much as you are able to. I will offer these phrases to you, and you can just say them slowly in your head, finding a rhythm. And it may be helpful to offer a phrase with each exhale or with every other exhale. So here we go. I forgive you. Or you can say, I forgive you as much as I am able to in this moment. May I let this pain free itself from my heart. I'll repeat. I forgive you. And the other alternative is, I forgive you as much as I am able to in this moment. If you want to, you can even take your hands and place them on your heart. just to offer them a little extra TLC. May I let this pain free itself from my heart. I forgive you. I forgive you as much as I'm able to in this moment. May I let this pain free itself from my heart. Again, offering the phrases with each exhale or every other exhale. I forgive you. May I let this pain free itself from my heart. Beautiful. Just a couple of more breaths and phrases. Beautiful. Now, turn toward yourself, recognizing that you too have caused harm to others. Now, you don't need to engage in the stories about the harm you have caused. Just recognize that you have indeed caused difficulties for others, whether you intended to or not. Calling to mind a specific person you have hurt. And begin asking for forgiveness from this person using these phrases. I ask for forgiveness for any harm I have caused you. May you find room in your heart to forgive me. May we forgive one another. I ask for your forgiveness for any harm I have caused you. May you find room in your heart to forgive me. May we forgive one another. Beautiful. Just another few moments. I ask for forgiveness for any harm I have caused you. May you find room in your heart to forgive me. May we forgive one another. And taking a deep breath in, bringing yourself more into your body as you exhale, more into waking awareness. Inhale and exhale, just feeling the release continue. One more inhale and exhale. And you can just stay in this moment of presence and relaxation. And I just ask that let's just do a little bit of clearing work. Feel or envision a golden white column of light beaming down over your body, cutting all the energetic cords that you have set up with other people that have been set up to you. And I just encourage you to cut every cord. Beautiful. And just feel your energy coming into your body, only feeding and nourishing you. And then imagine the same light coming down, but it's more of like steam, a steam cloud of energy and light coming down, washing over your body, just clearing anything in your auric field, anything that's there that's not serving you, that is perhaps creating blockages. Just see this steam cloud of energy and light just washing over your aura, your energy body. And the next thing you want to do is just feel that bubble of light. Feel yourself enveloped in a bubble of golden white light, and you can infuse it with, I'm going to offer pink today just because we're in Cancerian season, and blue. Yeah. And any other color you may want to infuse in your bubble of light. Good. And then we're just going to come here to the third eye and make an infinity symbol at the third eye. Beautiful. The infinity symbol is a symbol you can use and just put into your energy and balance your meridians just by making it over your body. Um, we can do our arms. You can do it over your legs. Beautiful. And the last thing that we're going to do to work on our energy is let's just tap on our meridians a little bit. We're going to come right here to our cheekbones. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Inhale, exhale. Now we're going to come here, right below our collarbones. Thump. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Good. And next here at the heart chakra, inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And lastly, on our spleen meridian, right at where we would typically wear the bra line. And come through to the throat chakra. I'm realizing how many of us, our throats, I think more than I realized, we've been muted in life. So let's just bring a little balance to this throat chakra. It also has to do with creativity. So, infinity symbol. Beautiful. So I hope that that has helped you to feel a little lighter and yeah, that will give you something to utilize yeah, to get you through the rest of the week. Um, Let me pull an affirmation from my other affirmation deck. What did I pull the other day? I know Peg said something about power. See, I can remember Pegs, but I don't remember what I said. What were I from? Oh, motivation. I am motivated and I am driven for this week. That was one of the ones. Motivation and being driven. Huh. So how do you motivate yourself? Tell me, how do you motivate yourself to stars? What's one way you will motivate yourself this week? Where does motivation come? I say motivation, let me see here, is a state. You can invoke it. You don't go get it. Sometimes I tell myself, I was telling my son, I'm not motivated to work out right now. And I was just like, well, I can't sit and wait for motivation. That's showing me it don't just show up. You got to invoke it. And so, maybe I watch somebody, I use my fitness pal. And sometimes I'll go in and look at the stories about people who, they had struggles and with working out and eating in, a way that was helpful and beneficial to themselves. And then they overcame it through something. It's like you got to go find that motivation. Where are you finding your motivation this week? What do you need to be motivated for? If you don't feel motivated, maybe revisit, what is your current mission? What is your current purpose right now? Um, and it's really just a state that we can invoke. We can just go decide, I'm motivated. I will get this done. However that works for you. Oh, good, Peg. And then I am driven. What does I am driven mean? I say connect being driven to your passion. I think that would be a good way of looking at it, connected to your passion. The goddess for the week. Um, I don't know. I'm still gonna just stick with Oya. I can't remember what it was in the solstice circle that I did, but I remember bringing up Oya. Maybe that was where I brought her up, but it's just a lot of change and transformation that is happening. So, and also we're in the waning moon phase. So, that's always a phase that's about releasing something, letting something go. And, if we just going ahead, I remember hearing my husband preach a sermon one time. It was something to the effect of, this is just how I described it: prune thyself, lest thy be pruned. So this is why we follow the cycle, so that we can make sure we are understanding. Am I in a season of planting? Am I in a season of action? Am I in a season of pruning? And I cleared my cache yesterday on my computer, so I don't even know if this is going to pull it up. But let me see if I can pull up. What was I going to look? No, it's not. I got to put everything back in. I wanted to look at the moon phase. Which one are we in right now? We're getting pretty close to yeah, we're getting pretty close to being in that I think we're in the phase. Are we in the last quarter? Does anybody know? I can't pull this on phases. Uh, Maybe I can do it this way. Today is yeah, I don't know. Oh, here we go. Today is the 22nd. We're in the last quarter moon phase, y'all. I'm gonna show you. Okay, we're in the last quarter moon phase. So this is actually what we call an active phase. Some phases are passive and some are active. And so this is definitely, it's the last day of the last quarter. So we are definitely in in an active phase that's more about um, like being driven to really push through and let go of some stuff. That resentment mindfulness practice that I just did, I think is so good for this one. Um, it's about taking that time to just really it's about getting real. To me, the waning phase is like, let me get real. What worked, what didn't work. And then the waning crescent phase is more of like that time where we are taking care of ourselves and nurturing ourselves and um preparing for the work of the active phase called the new moon phase. So let's see that here. Uh, okay, so we go into new on the 27th is when we go into the new moon phase. Okay. So and it looks like the moon is new on the new moon. Is it the 28th or the 29th? I think it's the 28th. So yeah. How are you driven? What are you driven to do right now? Okay, so here is our affirmation. This is one for today that I'm pulling from this deck. Oh, so Cancerian. I don't know if y'all can see it. It says, "My home is full of love and kindness." I love that so much. My home is full of love and kindness. So just affirm that for yourself, even if you feel like it isn't, because I know some of y'all got teenagers. And it doesn't feel like the home is full, or tweens. It don't feel like the home is full of love and kindness. Even 8 and 9-year-olds, sometimes they can be a little moody. It's the phase of life that they're in. Okay. The eight, especially eight. Eight can be a dark, 8 years old. It can be a dark time. I remember when my kids were 8. I was like, "You're driving me crazy. You're so negative. You're too young to be this negative." But it's an eighth house year, and the eighth house is a dark and, you know, gloomy house. So if you have an 8-year-old, cut them a little bit of slack. Okay, and then from the mindful messages deck, I'm pulling, so I feel affirmed. I'm pulling. Oh my gosh. Yes. Wait a minute. Here we go right here. Oh my gosh, Deezer has 12 and 15. Mm-mm-mm. Yep. I'm gonna come back to okay. Releasing anger. This is what the mindful messages says. It says releasing anger. Anger is a natural emotion, but I can recognize that holding on to it can be toxic for me. I look at the person who has caused me pain and see them as a human being, as the human being they are. I release the anger I feel and free myself, freeing myself and expanding to love. Let's just take that in. If nothing else, cancer really has us to face these emotions that, like, most of us don't pay any attention to. We just emotionally let ourselves run amok. We don't honor our emotions. We don't say, you know what? I can see why you would feel that way. I remember when someone first said that to me, I was like, oh, I really needed to hear that. I can see why you're upset about that. I can see why you're angry. I can see why you are holding resentment for filling the blank. I can see why you're sad. I can see why you feel hurt. I can see why you feel fill in the blank. I see exactly why you feel that way. Of course, you're human. Humans will feel. Do we honor our emotions? Most of us don't. EFT tapping is about giving a voice to our emotions. And that's why I had us work on this sixth chakra, uh, no, fifth chakra, so that we can unmute ourselves and speak our truth. To be angry and express it, especially as a woman, you will get some pushback. You ought to be grateful, or what's your problem? Or the thing that incenses me, I see now I got to do some work about this is, oh, she must be PMS and she must be on her period. Well, okay, so what? I told my son about I told him, I said, "Let me tell you something. The young woman that you're with, he's engaged. I just wanna give you a little bit of advice, unsolicited, but you will see less PMS the more you tell her take care of herself. The more you're like, "You know what? Do you need a massage? Can I order food for us? You know what? You just need to be with yourself. Whatever I can do to support you in taking care of yourself," whether she is in that moody phase of PMS or not. Um, and so, that incenses me because it's such a disrespect to our cycle. It's such a disrespect to being a woman. And so, it's just important for us just to say, you know what, I'm gonna give this a voice. And there's a circle that I'm in. Well, the certification I've been going through to lead women's circles. One woman admitted that she actually isn't super happy with her family right now. It's not fun being in her family, you know. When you got twins and teens, honey, okay, folks don't understand until you get there. I remember I used to teach, I was a substitute teacher for a little while. And eventually I said, take me off the middle school list. Okay. Don't put me on nobody's middle school list. I don't want to work with the middle schoolers because they a trip. They a true trip. I'll take the little ones and I'll take the high schoolers. But the middle schoolers, um, so it sometimes is really okay because we got these expectations of motherhood where it's like, okay, I'm a bad mom if I'm not just like totally feeling like I love my family. Well, you know what? Most of us are trying to do this thing on our own. We don't have proper support and it's hard. We need to just be able to say some days, I don't like being here. I don't like these people. I don't want to be here. This is not fun. This is not what I signed up for. Just say it, get it out. And then take a deep breath and affirm my home is full of loving kindness. Even if I can't see it, I'm just going to affirm it is so. And to know you'll be in my shoes one day crying because you miss your kids. But then I'm eventually going to get to where the other ones are, where they are now used to having adult children and they are living their lives. And it's all good. It's the phases of life. But yeah, that's something that I want us to think about, making sure that we honor our emotions and don't mute the good emotions. If you have something to celebrate, celebrate. Sometimes I'm over here and I think most people in my life, they don't know what I do. They don't get what I do. And so, when I do something great, I will stand over here and celebrate all by my lonesome. I will honor the good emotions too, you know. But the ones that cause us the most problem and the ones that probably the majority of us focus on are suppressing or, sometimes even engaging in, like we talked about with the resentment, negative emotions as a protective measure. We have what is called negativity bias. Our subconscious mind wants to keep us safe. And so we will focus on these negative emotions. Um, and they are killing us. They are creating sickness. They are creating pain in our physical body. These negative emotions, they can actually, what just came to my mind, y'all, is I remember recognizing when we talked about this before, when we engage a negative emotion or hold on to resentments and hurt and pain and don't give it a voice, don't acknowledge it. It creates a hole in our spiritual immune system. And then that in turn opens up for things like the way I described it for myself. The spirit of worry is like, oh, I got it in. And so then it attaches itself into that, it's like a breach, an energetic breach in our spiritual immune system, our mental immune system, our emotional immune system becomes a breach and it's able to come in and just set up. And, next thing I know, I almost feel like I can't, uh, I don't understand why I can't Why do I worry so much? We'll start having these kind of conversations, or we'll just be doing it. We don't even recognize it. It's just so much a part of us. And so the more we give a voice to our emotions, and part of it is just acknowledge it. I am ticked off, and it's okay because I'm a human. This is part of the human experience. I'm in a human body. Divinity decided it wanted to have all this going on in the human body. And so I'm just showing up. I'm turning it up, baby. I feel happy and I feel sad. I feel bliss and I feel anger. It's all good, baby. You know what? Because guess what? I'm in a human body right now. And this is just what it's part of. It's just part of the experience. And I do subscribe to Abraham Hicks. I feel like they're right. The emotions provide for us information. Am I headed in a direction that is working for me? Is that resentment? Is that anger that you will not let go of? Not just anger that kind of, it's like, oh, this made me mad, but it came and went. I'm not talking about that anger. I'm talking about the anger where this thing happened 10 years ago and you still pissed about it. Or it's like every time, and I might have to go through this one a few times during Cancerian season, actually, or during this waning moon phase. Now that I think about it, I think about that person. It's this nemesis from Zumba that came to my mind, and watch her like something because I never did defriend her or anything. Um, but she's my Zumba nemesis. I don't even teach Zumba anymore, and I'm still talking about her. You know what I mean? It's like, um, yeah, you need to get over it. You just need to get over it. She's not anywhere in my world. And if I wanted to, I could block her on all social media if it's really that serious, right? So these are the kinds of things that we really need to stop and say, I need to do something about this, because those kinds of emotions are the ones that end up they wreak havoc in our lives, and they don't allow us to open ourselves to possibility, and they provide information. So that's what I was saying. Am I headed in the right direction, or is this not headed in the right direction? You want to ask it, is why is this emotion coming to me? Is it taking me in the direction I want to go, or is it taking me in a different direction? This is something I want to just offer to us to do all of Cancerian season. Okay. And so I can honestly say, I never thought about it. Let me just take a moment, y'all. Okay. So the thing that I will actually tell y'all about this nemesis, and y'all share with me something that might be coming to you. Oh, I see y'all coming, and I'm gonna look in a moment. That I have so much regret about working with this lady because she ended up not wreaking havoc just in my life. I remember we went to a Zumba convention, and she had one of my friends completely crying at this Zumba convention. Like, we paid a lot of money to go, and she had to, like, I would have to kinda come and rescue this friend, and I had told her, "Don't stay with this lady." I'm like, "I'm telling you it's gonna be bad news because 'cause y'all done already had problems. Why are you doing this?" She deserved a little bit of that though, because I told her not to do it and she didn't listen. But it's a lot of people who ended up, like, really wounded by this woman because I helped her get a job in Zumba, and she had guilt tripped at me too. But anywho, when I really kinda tuned into the resentment, it's actually, like you said, I go back to myself. I'm like, I'm really pissed at myself that I succumbed to somebody accusing me of not being supportive. And I remember she called me a token black. She's black. Token black. I'm like, wow, okay. Is this how we doing it to get a $25 teaching job in Zumba? Okay. Okay, so I can release that now. I accept, it happened, and what can I do about it? What can I do about it at this point? That was like, let me see here. I've been gone from that gym for 10 years. It was over 10 years ago. I need to get it together. I don't have no more Zumba nemesis. Guess what? I don't teach Zumba no more. So it's over. So it was letting me know I'm headed in the wrong direction. And, next time, just be true to myself. Go do a reading or something, Tyra, before somebody tries to guilt trip me. That's a sign. You don't need to work with me. Okay. So Peg said, wow, love watching IG, YouTube with motivating, educating clips. I love that about alignment, spiritual wisdom, enlightenment, and high vibrational energy. I'm always pushed and motivated to keep going. That's good. That helps. So you want me to tell you something, Peg? I do the same thing. So thank you for that reminder. All right, y'all. Let me put my glasses on. Mm-mm. 8 is my favorite number. I like the dark. And it's so interesting too that in astrology, 8 has to do with the house. Actually, that does have to do with money, but it is the house it's a dark house, which means that in astrology, that ascendant house, it can't see the 6th house, the 8th house, or the 12th house. It's the angle because in astrology, we're all about degrees and angles. And the angle at which the 8th house is from the 1st house, the 6th house is from the 1st house, and the 12th house is from the 1st house. They're called dark houses. And so the 8th house is that dark house, but it also is a house that has to do with money. It's the money of your partner. It could be your life partner or business partner, something like that, or money that comes to you from other people that you don't earn. Um, but in numerology, 8 is about success and being driven, and it's a number that um it's very prosperous. It's very prosperous in numerology. So it's cool that you like the number 8, Eileen, because you embrace the darkness and the abundance and success, honey. Oh, hi. Glad. Wow. Deezer said releasing anger. Yeah. Held onto resentment for 30 plus years. Yeah. Ah, thank you. Yeah. I said one of my goals is actually just part of what I do. It's why I do what I do with here on my channel with you all. Is I said I want to make sure I tell people things that weren't told to me. That will help me, or just helping people, be that voice that helps to give people something to think about so that the path is not so difficult for them. And so I said, I know my son is involved in this relationship. He's engaged. So, you know, next phase is marriage if they take it there, which I hope they do because I love the young lady. And, you know, I was very aware as a woman raising, being in a house with boys to, I don't know, it was just like I was just very aware of how I was operating with them. And then, I had words that I trained myself to say if I was having PMS in your late 30s is worse than PMS before that. I don't care what nobody says. I remember when I first heard it and I was like, really? Woo, I got to my late 30s. I was like, I had never had PMS like this in my whole life. Still can remember it. And so, I would just tell them, "Y'all, mama doesn't feel well right now, so I'm just gonna go to my room. If you need something, let me know, but I cannot do anything right now." It was like I did my best to, like, not emote on them, because children, they can just do things and, it sets you off if you feeling emotionally off anyway. Um, and so, he may not understand. He wasn't raised up with a sister, so he may not understand these changes that he may see her go through because I don't know how aware she is of her cycle and her body. And so, yeah, I told him, um, the best thing you can do is to embrace whatever her cycle is, but more than anything, promote self care completely and totally. And actually, I told him, "You the type of person that needs a lot of self-care. Don't feel bad if you decide to go get your nails done and get your feet did. Go get your massages, and you gotta have your mental health day and your self-care day." I taught both of my sons that. I'm like, "Men need this, okay?" Some teaching middle school was not for me. Give me the high schoolers for sure. Yes, Diza. We go deep all the time. I'm learning we face a lot of the emotions others don't want to feel or address. I agree, Peg. I agree. And, Cancerians, you're actually called to master your emotions. You are the sign of emotions. And so I think it is just so important for Cancerians to understand these tools that we have. Um, learn to honor because your emotions are like waves. Well, all of ours are. There's waves, and you know, Cancerians will tend to go through these emotions because they're ruled by the moon. Their planet is changing a sign every 2.5 days. Whereas like my planet, Jupiter, for my sun sign is Jupiter is it changes signs like once every 12 months. It stays in one sign for about 12 months. Even if it's like part of this year was in Pisces for a while and then it was in Aries for a while. It does not change signs often. Same with Saturn. Mars, it changes signs every 6 weeks. It's so much more stability for those of us whose planets don't change sign so often. The sun every 30 days. Venus and Mercury, about 3 weeks. Let them retrograde. They'll be somewhere like 4 or 5 months in one sign. Um, but the moon does not retrograde. That moon just keeps going, and it speaks to the. This is why I love working with the moon. It speaks to the consistency of the moon. The moon is tried and true, just like the sun. The sun rises and it sets. It never retrogrades. It always is moving forward, right? And so Cancerians have to learn how to, manage their emotions and, use all these tools to help them because you're changing regularly. But women, we have this natural cycle within us with this period, moon flow. And so we have to learn the same thing. We have to learn to manage our emotions, love ourselves, take care of ourselves. Cancer is a sign of, self-care. Really, nurture ourselves. And your period will give you an indication of, like what do you need? Are you able to just kind of like flow? And it's not hold on one second. I don't understand. I have this phone set on focus, but yet I hear it dinging. But I'm gonna put it on. I know it'll slow down a little bit if I put it on airplane mode. Um, and so, um, yeah, that moon flow will show you where, like, okay, where do I need to make some changes, or perhaps I need to make some changes. And I remember, I don't really know a whole. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't follow Queen of Fu a whole lot, but in my early days of health and wellness, I used her book, Heal Thyself, and I remember her talking about using food when you start shifting how you eat. And I do not promote any one way of eating. I promote listen to your body. Your body will tell you what is what you need, what's best for you. Um, but she talked about when we begin to shift how we eat, it will change our moon flow. It'll slow it down. We won't have as many cramps. And then, of course, doing the energy work and honoring the emotions, whole self care piece, like from body, mind, spirit, emotions, like the whole package of self care, this will create a shift in the moon flow. And I found it to be true. As soon as I started being more mindful of what I ate, when I ate, um, uh, emotionally, it probably took me a little bit of time, but definitely I've been on the self-care kick ever since I went off to college, honestly. Changing the things that I listen to. I remember at Spelman, when I was like, "You know what? I think this gangster rap is making me feel negative. I'm just gonna test it and see." I think I had heard something about what you listen to, it affects how you feel. And so I stopped listening to gangster rap, hadn't listened to it since. Refuse to listen to negative music. And if it's just like not if I don't vibe it or if the words aren't aspirational, inspirational, it will not go into my mind. It just won't. Because I noticed the difference. So all those things started adding up to, I easily conceived, and this is something I don't oh my gosh, if my kids ever watch this, they're gonna find out something on social media, but something I never really talk about was, one time I got drunk. I was I was fasting. I was doing intermittent fasting long before I even knew that was a thing. This is when I was a junior in college. It was the summer of my junior year. I was doing intermittent fasting and, to manage my weight. And I went over, it was this guy I was kicking it with and drank. I don't even remember what it was. I'm not a drinker. Pisces here cannot drink. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And got drunk and blacked out. And I may have agreed to intercourse, but there was no recollection of it. I just woke up and he was on top of me and I pushed him off. And for years, I felt like, oh my gosh, I got date rape. But I don't know. This year, I just released that. I was like, I don't really know if I was or not because I have no idea if I agreed. Like, I think it's not cool to have sex with a young lady who's like slushy drunk. But he was drunk too and probably high. Yeah, that was like one of the epic fails of my life. Oh my gosh. Anywho, I ended up getting an STD as a result of that. What's that? Syphilis. And that sent me in a straight PTSD. Like I already had PTSD waking up, like, having sex when I was like, I did not agree to this. And then I got that I got that uh uh syphilis. And I didn't know I had syphilis. I think the first thing I did was go and take well, not the first thing, because of course you have to wait, but I did take an HIV test. I remember that. And then I started going to I don't know if y'all have heard of this. It's called the Black Women's Health Project. I went to the Black Women's Health Project, and there was a Black woman there, who's the first PA I ever met. I never had heard of a physician's assistant, but she was a PA and, she tested what they do for women, I think up until they're 26 years old, is they automatically test you for certain STDs that are hidden, and so mine turned out to be, syphilis. No, not syphilis. What was that? It wasn't syphilis. It wasn't gonorrhea. Oh, what is that? Is it chlamydia? That's what it was, I think. Let me just look, y'all can see I'm so disconnected from it, but let me yeah, chlamydia. I had chlamydia. And, so of course I was in PTSD. I stayed in PTSD around that until I was about 26 and I went to a nurse no, I was at University of Tennessee at Knoxville, and I went to the clinic, and I told the lady, I was like, "I am so tired of feeling like I have a STD because I was always scared. Do I have one? Did I get rid of it? Because I took almost all the the antibiotics, but I didn't take them all. I forgot, it was nothing going on. I don't know. And I remember like, did I get rid of it? And I had been tested multiple times and I was told, no, you don't have it. Cause I found out I had chlamydia probably when I was like 21 and I probably had it several months at that point. No, maybe a year at that, close to a year at that point. So I was just like complete paranoid. And finally I was just like, okay, I'm making up in my mind. I went to the health clinic on UT's campus and just told the lady, this is what happened. And I just need one more test. And when it comes back negative, then I'm not going to be paranoid anymore. And she was, oh, it actually kind of touches my heart. She was so kind. She was like, yes, let's do this. So lovely to meet people who care. So, of course, I took the test. It came back negative as it had before, multiple times or whatever. Um, and so, that was just part of my healing journey in taking, you know, control of I don't even remember how I got on this topic, but just talking about how as we take care of ourselves, we can shift our cycle. We can have more health and well-being in our cycle. And you know, it's just so, so important. I know it's related because it's women's health or whatever. I don't remember. I got lost in that memory. But I do give thanks that I've healed from it. I've been able to help multiple young women when they go off. I tell them, look, don't drink with people who you don't really know. Be cautious of that. And if you see a young woman who is slushy drunk, don't leave her. Don't leave her. My niece's mom, I told her that when she went off to college. I was like, don't leave any young women who are drunk because I had friends who were there with me and they drove her home in my car. She went home in my car. She was like, well, this is Tyra's boyfriend. She went home in they drove her home in my car. They're all drunk driving my car because I was blacked out. I didn't know. And so that's how it ended up happening. Well, that was a part of the scenario that I learned from. I'm not blaming her at all because it was on me. I drank. But it did make me tell people, don't young ladies, don't let young women stay someplace slushy drunk. And so my niece's mom said she told her, well, she was in college. She wasn't one of the ones that got drunk, but there was one time she was with a friend someplace at a house with a lot of dudes. The friend was slushy drunk. She said, I sat up all night with her to make sure nothing happened to her. And, my story has helped to for the ones I've shared it with, it's helped them to not feel bad if they find themselves caught up in a situation where the rest of the world will blame you. It's your fault. You, being fast or whatever word people like to use. This is what happens when you do certain things and, victim blaming and stuff like that, which I take full responsibility and for me, not for him. But yeah, I can tell y'all, talk about having to release some stuff. That's something I have for sure had to release over the years. When we resent a parent for not being there in the past, when we really needed them, we lock them out now in our times of need because we're scared they'll disappoint again. I think that's a very real fear. And I think what is good for that, Diza, is you just test it. You just test it. And you can just say, you know what? Eh, I can open myself up to receive help and maybe it'll work. But the worst case scenario is I just lock them out again and just say, well, I asked you to help me and you let me down. And so, no, you're now locked out again. So we get to kind of choose it. But this is one of the reasons why we do want to do this work of emotional release, right? You talked about her the other day, your Zumba. No, that was not my nemesis. That was actually not my nemesis. That's why I mentioned the scenarios in women's fitness. That was not my nemesis, actually. That was just somebody who was jealous of me. I dealt with it all. I eventually became one of the most popular instructors. Eileen and I have talked about the world of Zumba because she is a Zumba instructor also. The world of Zumba is full of the sister wound, honey. Okay. You want to find out about the sister wound and the mama wound because they be talking about so and so is my Zumba mommy. Oh my gosh. And then they turn on you. I used to tell people all the time, don't call me your Zumba mommy because as soon as you get mad at me, you're gonna turn on me. But yeah, the sister wound. Nope, that was not my nemesis. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hey Lanika. Let me see. I'm scrolling through. Thanks to the sessions we've done together, I had no resentment or apologies that I haven't dealt with. Oh, that's beautiful, Eileen. That's beautiful. I'm grateful to do this work with you. I have been called some names too, Tyra. I just at them. Yeah. Yep, Lanika. That's beautiful. We are raising men to be supportive and give them a different new narrative, give them some inside information on women. And I do believe in men mentoring. young men. I'm not a man. I have no idea what it's like. None. I don't understand it. Not even trying. But what I can do is to give you some insight on what it means to deal with a woman. This is what women go through. This is how to um, best help a woman navigate. This is what I wish was told perhaps to my husband, who has been a very understanding person and willing to learn and everything. But he has had to figure it out because I had to figure out how to have these conversations, right? Taking notes. Yes. Managing emotions is big. Yes, it is. Music is pure vibration. It's like magic. That's also why singing is a powerful tool. I so agree. And one thing I've been doing here lately, Diza, is I learned that singing activates the vagus nerve, which we want that parasympathetic system to be activated. That part of us that it helps us to feel peaceful and calm. And singing out loud, like at the top of your lungs. Sometimes I'll turn the music up because that singing is not what I was gifted to do in public. Although I am starting to advocate more for like karaoke, I think is ingenious to be honest with you. But yes, more singing in public, but we want to sing out loud because it helps to calm us down. But for sure, just the act of singing, it invokes that creative energy, that flow. I knew this one lady, I can't remember her name. I can see her face. She told me about the time that she died and then came back. She had a near death experience. She heard music. This is how serious music is. Like she said, when she died, she went to the other side. It was a music that was so wonderful and glorious, like nothing she had ever heard before. So, yeah. Yes, Eileen. Disconnected. Yeah. Yeah. Glad to share. It's now it's now out. I just outed myself. See, look at that. My Zumba mommy turned on me. Oh, I forgot about that. Zumba mommies turn on they top students, especially if the students started shining. Zumba mommy can't help it. Mother wound, sister wound. Okay. It is a whole nother ball game. You are right. You are right. Okay. Yeah, I will definitely share more of what I have learned in marriage this year for my husband and I. We're going to be at 28 years. It's just so fascinating. I think Craig has been there with me. We were together when I graduated from college. That was huge. He we hooked up right around that time that I found out that I had that STD. We had just hooked up and I was like, I am so grateful I figured this out before we got our swerve on. um but Yeah, he's there a part of that. Like, he doesn't know for sure who the guy is, he's guessed, but I never would tell him because I was scared. He was, like, gonna go fight him or something, which I don't think he would have. But, and he's been there, when I went to grad school, when my mom died, for, my marriage. He was there when I had my babies. He literally caught my second son because I wasn't at the hospital. He caught my second son, and it's listed on the birth certificate for him. Um, and yeah, I've been there with him through all the major things. He went to law school. We got married right when he started law school, and it hit the time before he realized he was called to be a pastor or a preacher is what it started out as, preacher. All the iterations, now, we're at this phase of we have adult children. It's a mind. It's a real mind shift. It's a real mind shift. Um, so yeah, and it does take two people who are willing to work on that relationship that can lead to longevity because for all intents and purposes, maybe we weren't supposed to be together. after I was like, "I'm not that religion anymore." My husband's a pastor, and I am a priestess in a goddess tradition, but I don't know, like, I just think it's destined or something, but in my mind, what I think about is there's a Venn diagram, and this middle part where we meet is strong enough that the rest, the differences that are within us, even though they could break up so many other people, they have created divisions amongst cultures, and it's just totally taboo for Christians to be with somebody who is not professing Christianity. Um, I just think that what's in the middle is stronger than the differences. And what's in the middle is two people who've made a decision. I'm willing to stick in this thing if you are going to do the work, and we continue to cultivate, because it hasn't always been like perfect. I remember he was so frustrated with me at one point, and I was frustrated with him, and it was like we weren't communicating. And once we talked about it, because it just like came to a head one day. No yelling. That's something that we've done well with. We don't yell. We may not talk as much as we should sometimes, because we're very appropriate, and like we're very what's the word? Diplomatic. We're very diplomatic in how we work with one another. We don't like the fights. Neither one of us, doesn't matter what it is, we're not inclined to fight. But once we had that conversation, it was like, oh, we've been miscommunicating. We were drawing the wrong conclusions about what was wrong about with the other, and what he thought I wanted. I was like, I don't want that. And what I thought he wanted, he was like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm like, oh, it was like in a day, cleared up, highs and lows, highs and lows. And you go real low at some point in the relationship, and then it never goes that low again. That's what I found for me and Craig. So grateful for that, willing to share as much as I can about whatever I can. I see you, Peg, 14 years. Ah, yeah, that's me and Craig. Look, he calls me an old woman. He says he's with an older woman. I was 21 when we connected, and he was 20. Okay, we started dating October. His birthday was on the 29th when he turned 21. He was 20 for 30 days, maybe. No, he wasn't even 20 for 30 days, but I'm gonna give him 30 days. He was 20 years old. I was 21 when we first started dating. Okay. And he chooses to talk about he's with an older woman. These people are a trip. Congratulations, 14 years is stout, because that 10th year is hard. I see a lot of people at 10 years, I'm like, "Are they gonna make it?" I'll be cheering for you when you get to your 10th year. So, here we go back to this Zumba stuff. My classes were packed, and she started degrading you to the members behind your back. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, the fitness world is cutthroat. Some people have nice bodies, but toxic behavior. Ooh, girl, you said a word. You said a word. You're welcome, Disa. Happy to share. I've been running from the possibility of marriage for 25 years because my parents got a divorce in the mid 80s. Hearing someone share about lasting marriages is healing stuff for me. Yes, glad to share. Glad to share. And it does help, especially to see Black people having long marriages. I would say, let me see here. I got another friend. She and her husband been married 20 years. I think it was 20 years, maybe last year. And then another friend, let me see here. It's probably been about 20 years for both of them. One of them, I think, got married before. Maybe their marriages are a year apart. It's right around the same time. And I've seen it's been rocky. It's been real, real rocky. But I just find if the people are both willing to work it out some kind of way, because these are women who are like, I'm not gonna be in an unhappy marriage. We're gonna work it out, or we're gonna split. And then the husband wakes up. For them, it was a lot of the husband. They got their stuff too. Because I will tell my friends in a heartbeat. Let me explain something to you. If like this one friend, I'm like, let me tell you something. The way you acting, I see why he treating you the way he treating you. Cause right now I don't like you the way you acting. We do need actually women to help us, you know? I'm a little bit quite a bit older, not younger, older than these women I'm talking about. I had been married quite a while when maybe 7, 8 years when I'm yeah, about 7 years or so when I met them. So I was way further down the pipeline. And these are people that came from they didn't have good examples. Neither did I. My parents were not the best example for marriage. I'm not gonna say they were the worst, but they were not the best example. I had to learn a lot on my own, figure some stuff out. But these friends, I would tell them, look, this is you don't there's certain things you don't do with a man. You got to understand his hormones. They don't act like us in this way. Or, you know, just be honest. Like, you know what? Sometimes it is the woman's fault. We trying to scapegoat on the man, but no, you are being the horses behind right now. Ah, aw. Oh, y'all had home births. Oh, tag. I'm so happy to hear that. Wow. Oh, that's a dream for me. I only had 2, so the let me see here. Hi, G Watkins. So interested in more of this. Holding space for my emotions as a wife is a new learning for me. Okay, let me write this down. I didn't know I need to be talking about these issues. Let me just put it right here. Uh, more vids on marriage. Yes, I one thing that I'll say for you, G, is I or anyone, Peg, um, and for the sisters who are not married, but at some point that is an option for you because some women are clear they don't have any desire to be married. Um, but it is important to have a circle of women around you who will give you insider information on best how to deal with um, being in a marriage. And the other thing that I'll say too is I I didn't know anything about astrology back then, but I started learning about these personality profiles. And once I started realizing some people are just programmed in a particular manner, like this one that I learned through a job that I had actually, it was about let me see, it was these colored hats. And, I found out I think I was either a white hat or a yellow hat, which is very optimistic, always sees the, um, the optimistic the optimism in a situation. And then one of them it was other ones, blue, green, red, and then there was this black hat, and the black hat is like the sobering voice, like, "Okay, so happy that y'all are doing all of this, but did y'all not see this glaring error?" It's sorta like the black hat is like Virgo and, Capricorn energy. I'm about to yank y'all down to reality and point out all the flaws that y'all not seeing. This is not gonna work. And see, to me, that's my husband. I'll be like, Craig, I have like this great idea. And then and he's like, yeah, but what about this? And he doesn't mean to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that. But I was just like, you're just so negative. You're always just like shooting my dreams and my hopes down. And then I was like, no, if I really take the time to listen to what Craig is saying, I'm like, dang, actually didn't think about this. You're giving me a different perspective. And once I was able to accept, so I'll tell y'all this, I got to talk about this. We're going to talk about some love, baby. We're going to talk about love. Because this would be like a whole nother several hours if I keep going. But one thing to understand is there's Oshun love or Het Haru love, which is like the love of attraction and what brings us together. It's the romance and it's the energy of creation and joy. But this is what Ra'un Neframan teaches in the Metunetter is like how we get together. It's through Het Haru. Now, I believe in this energy as being extremely powerful, and I never make Oshun seem like she's just really shallow, which I think a lot of times her energy comes off as a little bit shallow. There's nothing shallow about this energy, but it is the energy of conception, new beginnings. It's not necessarily the energy that's going to cultivate that thing, right? And then what is taught is ma'at is the energy of long-term marriages, and I learned this as I was applying it to my own marriage. Um, ma'at is long-term. um, it's what we strive for. It's what we evolve and grow into. This is what we're headed in the direction of. Ma'at. Now, Ma'at and Oshun or Ma'at and Haru, they are very similar energies. It's like the same energy as Venus and Jupiter, the energy of abundance and good fortune. However, what is said about Ma'at is she's the fortune major. Haru is the fortune minor. So Haru is like, we're gonna have some good times, we're gonna get through some things. But it's not the kind of energy where if it's like a lot to overcome, that's not exactly where you want to go. You want to go to this Ma'at energy. Ma'at will help you to get over the biggest humps. And so like the humps that I would speak to it, well, what she one of the reasons she does this is because she is about unconditional love. And I remember getting to this point where I just said, "You know what? I accept." There's that word acceptance. I accept Craig as exactly who he is. I don't need him to be anything different. My I love is actually, universal and what we strive to have for everyone. Um, and the reason she can do this is she can see the big picture. And Craig has said this about me, like, "I don't want you to be different because then we wouldn't have what we have. You are who you are." He calls me Goofy with a capital Oofy. He's GQ. This morning I woke up, I was like, "Okay, I wanna make sure I look appropriate because I don't always pick out clothes that match. I pick out clothes that it's like, well, no, I just wanna I'm like a little two-year-old. No, I wanna wear that and that because I don't know, it just feels like those are the clothes that wanna be on my body today." Oh, and so, um, he's just like, we have an agreement. If I tell him, "Look at this. Do you think this will look good on me?" Like, I consult my husband. He's my fashion consultant, okay? And, spiritually, I am not like him. That's like a major tenet. Christianity is about, being with people who are like you and conver you know, converting people into Christianity or helping to bring them into that particular spiritual system. And he has never once said, "Either you be Christian or else Imma leave you." Never, ever, ever, ever. And so it's going both ways. And, it's like I have my flaws, he has his flaws. My eye is like, "Can you see the big picture?" And what I used to tell my friends is, you as long as your husband ain't calling you out your name, he's coming home every night, you pretty certain he's not with nobody else, because that's a breach in my opinion. We need to do something about this. If we didn't agree to an open relationship, what are you doing? So he's not doing that. Okay. You don't like because of certain things or certain ways you want him to be to make you happy. Then the what I offer to you, this is what I used to say to my friends is, I just want you to imagine your husband is gone. He ain't coming back. You know why? Because he in the ancestor realm. And then ask yourself, how important is this to you? And if it's a really big deal, then, you need to do something about it. But don't be trying to change people. And then the other thing is, I used to tell myself, this is Ma'at. I'm describing the Ma'at understanding of relationships. Every time I'm pointing at Craig, like, "Craig, this about you and that about you and this about you and that about you." I better recognize these three fingers and realizing now this is when Hat Haru Oshun comes in because that's the object of the mirror. What is my spouse reflecting back to me? What is my spouse reflecting back to me? And so I just started having these conversations with myself. I would say, okay, Craig's on my nerves over this. So let me stop and see, can I find this in my own life? Because what we see is what's in us, right? Okay, where can I find this in my own life? It's not exactly the same. It is the same in theme, but in detail, it's different. His messiness over here is my messiness over here. So, how about I not say anything to him until I get myself together? And typically, I would always go back to, let me just work on myself. Let me work on myself. The more I focus on me, then I don't know. Sometimes it would just sort of like naturally resolve itself. Or if it didn't, it would just be that my ITN unconditional love, because I know the what is this? Because I know the alternative could be I just don't have him. He's on the other side. And I'm just like, you know what? So far, I haven't found anything that's just like that doesn't cure, right? So that is what we're striving for, unconditional love. And it's all about the self. Marriage is about you. It seems like it's about you and somebody else, but in my mind, marriage is about me. That marriage is a path to self enlightenment, honey. Motherhood and marriage, baby, let's get enlightened. Show enough paths to enlightenment. All right. But yeah, we'll talk more about marriage. Let me see here. Virgo husbands. Yes. Like I said, some people don't want marriage, but they are ready for a relationship. I am not mad with you, Eileen. Okay. 10/8. Okay. So this is why people get married in that Libra season, baby. They don't even know why they get married in October. But that's Libra season, honey. Okay, I see you. 15 years this year, huh, Peg? It's powerful to see people work it out. My dad's second marriage has been lasting since 1987, baby. 1987. uh, Here, they don't encourage home births. Everything is over medicalized. They don't encourage home births here, Deezer. We just do it. We just do it. Now, my home birth was not planned, even though I felt like my baby was going to come at home. My husband was like, no, we ain't having no home birth. But guess what? We had a home birth. Unplanned, unassisted. It was the best. My Peg is a nurse, but one of my friends, I think she had all home births. Yeah. All home births, and she is somebody who maybe she did unassisted. She's somebody who even has, let me see here. Her STD, the one that she caught was, I think it was, I can't remember which one it was. Which one is the one that you have the breakouts? Uh, Anywho, you have the breakouts. Could be on your lip, could be on your yoni or whatever. Honey, she was like, I'm gonna give birth at home, and I'm giving birth unassisted, and I ain't gonna have no breakouts when my babies are coming, so I ain't gonna have to worry about none of that. Sure did. But we kind of are bucking the system. It's very few people who have home births. I don't know many people who've had a home birth. Your husband is a Virgo. Ah, ah. Yes, G. We home water birth. So what I did with my first son was I chose a hospital that was for women who are having births. It was eventually closed down because it doesn't make the medical establishment money when women just have natural births that don't require a lot of medical intervention. But that you want to just look at what are the options. That's something else I need to talk about birth. Okay. And pregnancy. And so I went to this hospital and they had it where you could sit in the tub and labor while you're in the tub. And I say find people who reach out to me. We need to talk. There are a lot of people who can talk to you about having power. One of my favorite books to read. Well, wait a minute, hold on. What's the name of this book? The Thinking Woman's Guide. No, it'll come back to me. I don't know why my brain is just not on today. Folks got Virgos. My husband's a Scorpio. Um, yeah. If you're married to a Virgo, You just gotta understand. As a matter of fact, one of the friends that I'm talking about, who I'm like, with the way you talking, I won't I see why your husband acting the way he acting with you." She's a Virgo. We love you Virgos. We love the Virgos. But they really mean well. My son is a Virgo, and I've just learned, they see things that other people are not willing to see. They don't mean to be negative. It's actually not easy being a Virgo. So, oh my god. People get all in their feelings over that. Yeah, the ones who are like realists, I love y'all so much. I used to say, Craig, you yanked me down to reality. That's my Virgo. I got to call out the problem that needs fixing first. Virgos are just, and they'll be doing everything they can to not say anything. They'll be like, I don't want to say anything. And then they're just like, I can't take it. Y'all gonna mess it up. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is raggedy. We need to get this thing fixed. They gonna see every problem. And all the rest of us are like, you're just so negative. You're just always pointing out. And then when we don't listen to Virgo, we're like, dang, they were right. My husband told me I used to love multi-level marketing companies. And there was this one called Avocare I was a part of, and he was not supportive at all of me. I was like, I'm gonna retire you, Craig. You know how they do with these MLMs. I'm gonna retire my husband. He watched the presentation because of my upline, and he I mean, you could tell he was just like not feeling it. And when everyone left, he said, "This is what did he say? It's a pyramid scheme." And I was like, "There you go. You're just being so negative." That was 2007, 2008. So last year, maybe it was 2 years ago, actually. It may have been like 2 or 3 years ago. I got notice that Avocare was having to restructure how it operates from having people do pyramid schemes, and it was the downline that I was in, like the one that was making the money at the top. It was they were one of the ones that's named, not the one that right above me, but all the way up. And for pyramid scheme, I did not want to tell Craig. Y'all know I did not want to tell Craig. I said, Craig, guess what? Avocare has been sued for being a pyramid scheme. And he was like, I told you. I told you. That's why I'm like, look. But the one thing I will say is I got a settlement earlier this year, maybe a couple of months ago, about almost a grand, because I was a part of the class action suit. I literally felt like this yesterday and had a moment, and I told myself, thank you for your advice and giving another perception. Yes, Peg. We grow up. Marriage will make you just become so like, okay, accepting and tougher to be able to hear harsh criticism. Nobody's gonna know you like that spouse, okay? We are too detail oriented to not call it out. It's all in love. That's it. She got herpes a long time ago, and she still had delivered, I think it's 4 babies at home, unassisted. She was the first person, the only one I ever knew personally who experienced ecstatic childbirth. She had no pain. That first one. I don't know about the rest of them. I wasn't around, but I know that first baby she had, she was so like in the zone and had just been working on doing a lot of deep healing. And she actually was initiating with me into the sacred feminine mysteries. And so, yeah, she had a static childbirth. It's a lot, but we do have to immerse ourselves in communities where women will help you not feel afraid. Um, gee, I could see that. That's part of his makeup and move with more compassion. They are very compassionate and they want to help everybody, Virgos. Oh, when I was 20, I said awful things to him to drive the point home. I was terrible at that age. Yeah, it's okay. You were in protection mode, you know. I hope that you are offering yourself compassion. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Okay, those husbands, they can help us. Oh, you gave birth to the eldest in Martinique. one in France in the hospital if you're a Black woman. Yeah, we deal with that too here, medical malfeasance. These are Oh, you got together in 2008, married 224. So Libra and Pisces. Okay. Oh, we got together, I don't know why I remember, but 10-4. That's when my husband and I hooked up in Libra season, actually. So I'm gonna put up Eileen's words. So y'all, if anyone's involved with a Virgo, you can get some advice from a Virgo. Poor Virgos. I love this. You guys are blessed and highly favored to be in relationships with Virgos and Scorpio. Ah, I know that. Let me tell you, Craig can see for real. For real. Craig can see some stuff. Both my parents are Virgos too. Sometimes I like it. I like to live in fairy tale land, but they will for sure ground you in reality. Thankful for that quality in my partner. Oh my gosh. Yank. Here I am, the Pisces. I'm floating. I am having a great time up here with all of the fairies and the unicorns. And it is like so fun. And then I would tell Craig, it's like there's a chain or a rope that is connected to me, and he just yanks me down to reality. And I'm like, oh my Oh my gosh. And, there are times when I'll say to Craig, I'm like, "Craig, I want you to be like a white man, okay? White men, they get their honey-do list and they just follow what their wives tell them to do." Craig was like, "No, you don't want that. You don't want I ground you, Tyra, and you want me to be exactly how I am with you. You do not want me to be doing this honey-do list." I'm like, "How you gonna tell me what I want?" Y'all just go on ahead and take Craig. Craig is y'all's, okay? Yesterday, I told him I no, it was yeah, no, it was Monday. He still goes to Boy Scouts because he likes camping out and stuff. So he's still working with the scouts here that our kids' troops, even though their kids are gone. He came back and I was like, "Well, I just did a live stream." And he was like, "You ready? You want me to come on, Tyra? I'll come on and I'll dance." And, he's always, I said, "Craig, look, let me tell you something. If you come onto my YouTube channel, they all gonna love you. I said, I talk about you all the time. So if you want to come on, Craig." But my Craig and my younger son come on, talk about they want to come on and do readings. I'm like, "No, you can't do readings. You know why? Because you don't do readings. Y'all don't have no oracle decks, nothing. You're not gonna do no readings on my channel." They like, "All right, you know what? They missing out, Tyra." So that's my super confident. I always said I wanted a really confident man. Um, I got it. This man, he look in the dictionary for the word confident, and you will see my husband's face. Eileen has described what it's like dealing with these Virgos and these realists, these black hats like Craig. Yes, we love our Virgos. Like I said, my son is a Virgo. I have a Gemini. Love them. I'm gonna go off my gut emotions. For me, it doesn't have to make sense, but I gotta feel it. Okay, see, this is me. My emotions are logical to me. My intuition, this is my logic. Period. Period with a T. All right, y'all. As usual, we had such a good time. I think I might start calling this like coffee time or something like this. I feel like I've been at like a place where we're drinking coffee and we sit around and we have girl talk and all that kind of good stuff. So maybe I'll call it a mini retreat and coffee time with Tyra. This is so wonderful. Okay, sisters, I'm gonna run and I need to work on the newsletter. I'm gonna send a newsletter out. Um, again, I hope that y'all join me in the new moon retreat. this upcoming Saturday. I know it's not the new moon just yet, but I don't like doing things right at the new moon or at the full moon unless, that's like the best time. And the reason I don't like doing it then is because I want you to be able to utilize that energy for yourself. So the new moon retreat is preparing you for your new moon. Even though we are going to be doing some new moon things during that retreat, it is actually preparing you so that you can do your own ritual work for the new moon. So there's the collective piece that we do, and then there's the individual piece. I need both. And I like my new moon to be, um, you know, I really like being with myself and my guides and my ancestors and just kind of being quiet because it is that kind of moon um, during that time. So this one is leading us to that point. Plus, sometimes it's like I have to do it on a day that I know actually really works. And I know for a fact that Saturday works for me. So join me if y'all enjoy these kinds of conversations. Then we do even more work. I go deeper into the work in the new moon retreats. And let me see here. And I do my best to provide you with tools that will help you over the next month. But a lot of the tools are just tools that you can continue to use and get results, like what Eileen is saying. Eileen has been working with me long term, almost a year. And so, that's why her heart was open this morning. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome. It's my honor. Yeah, coffee time with Tyra. All right, y'all. You're welcome. I love y'all so, so much. Okay, let me see here. Anything else I want to tell y'all? So the newsletter, I'll promise I'll get that out today. We're going to have the new moon retreat on Saturday. And who knows when else I'll come on. I'm doing my best to kind of like get myself zoned in so that I'm not always so busy. Hey, y'all, hold space for me. Cheer for me. I am finishing up this certification. It has been a longer, more intense process than I thought it would be. The certification for running women's circles. Yeah, I finished this week. And most people in my life don't care. So I'll share it with y'all because I know that y'all understand the work that I'm doing. We're in this together. It is Saturday. Did I say Friday? If I said Friday, I meant Saturday. June 25th is when it is. So I'm just going to leave out with that on screen. And thank you all so much for, let me take it down. I'll go here. Thank y'all so much for being here with me today. And yeah, see y'all soon. Peace and love.